Abram Gotz. Abram Raphaelovich Gotz (1882–1940) was a Russian socialist revolutionary leader, active in the revolutions of 1905 and 1917. Biography. Early years. Abram Gotz came from a wealthy Jewish family in Moscow. His older brother was Mikhail Gotz (1866–1906), a revolutionary active in the populist Narodnik movement and instrumental in organizing the Socialist Revolutionary Party (PSR). Abram Gotz studied at various universities in Germany, becoming one of the Heidelberg SRS, like his friends Nikolai Avksentiev, Vladimir Zenzinov, Vadim Rudnev, and Ilya Fondominsky. These SR were influenced by Marxism and neo-Kantian philosophy, as well as by the older Russian populist tradition. That was also true of Viktor Chernov, the party's chief theoretician. Political activity. Gotz participated in the Russian Revolution of 1905 and for a time served in the fighting organization of the PSR, which was responsible for acts of political terror and expropriations. In 1906, Abram's brother Mikhail died. In 1907, Gotz was arrested and sentenced to hard labor in Siberia. He was in Siberia when World War I broke out and initially joined the anti-war internationalist faction of the PSR and participated in the Siberian Zimmerwaldists. Freed by the February Revolution of 1917, he returned to Petrograd and became a leading member of the Petrograd Soviet. He also served as chairman of the All-Russian Central Executive Committee, which was elected by the First All-Russian Congress of Soviets of Workers and Soldiers Deputies in June 1917. He now supported a revolutionary defensist position, supporting war in defense of the revolution, but not for imperialistic aims. This brought him closer to the right wing of the PSR and led him into conflict with the SR internationalists around Chernov and Mark Netansin. Gotz also collaborated with Menshevik leaders in the Soviet, particularly Fyodor Dan, Mikhail Leiber, and Iraklit Tsereteli. Gotz opposed the October Revolution and tried to organize armed resistance to the Bolsheviks. He was a member of the Anti-Bolshevik Committee of Salvation of the Homeland and the Revolution. When Admiral Kolchak overthrew the coalition directorate, Gotz sided with those SR who suspended military action against the Bolsheviks for fear of aiding the anti-democratic counter-revolution. Trial of the Socialist Revolutionaries. In 1920, Gotz and 33 other SR leaders were arrested. He was the main defendant at the 1922 Moscow trial of socialist revolutionaries, sometimes described as the first show trial in Soviet Russia. The trial became a cause célèbre among Western socialists. Theodor Liebknecht, brother of the assassinated German Spartacist leader Karl, acted as a lawyer for the defense. The venerable anarchist Peter Kropotkin appealed personally to Vladimir Lenin to spare the lives of the defendants. Karl Kautsky wrote impassioned pamphlets about the trial, and American trade unionists demonstrated for the release of the SR. The Bolsheviks countered with massive demonstrations and courtroom disruptions demanding the death penalty. In the end, Gotz and 11 of his co-defendants were sentenced to death, but the sentences were suspended and the SR were kept as hostages. Later years. After a period of imprisonment, Gotz was deported to Alma-Ata, where he worked in industry. He was rearrested there during the Great Terror of 1937. On June 20, 1939, the Military Collegium of the Supreme Soviet sentenced Gotz to a term of 25 years of deprivation of freedom. Gotz would not survive this term, dying under the harsh conditions of the Gulag in 1940. Footnotes. Additional references consulted. The Great Soviet Encyclopedia. Moscow, 1979. Schuckman, H. ed. The Blackwell Encyclopedia of the Russian Revolution. Oxford, 1988. W. Wojtinski, The 12 Who Are to Die, The Trial of the Social Revolutionists in Moscow. Berlin, Delegation of the Party of Social Revolutionists, 1922.